Hello there. Thanks so much for joining me today. It's going to be a nice yoga flow focused on our back and front body opening. So, of course, this is going to include lots of shoulder opening, lots of leg opening, hips. It's going to be a good one. We're going to start this one in a kneeling position at the back of the mat. If you don't like to kneel, or you can just come into an easy seat, that'll be just fine. Let's all meet there. Bringing those knees to touch, feet to touch, and sending those hips back. You can bring your hands to your thighs or your knees, wherever it feels comfortable to rest them here. Bringing that awareness to the breath. Nice, steady in-breaths and long, controlled exhales. Noticing any sensations you are feeling today. I'll go ahead and say our quote for today so we can ponder it throughout this practice. The world around you is only beautiful when you are at peace with the world within you. So really bringing some awareness into the inner world that we have here. Really listening to that inner calling, following that still small voice. Knowing that we are exactly where we should be. We just have to accept where we are, accepting how we're feeling. On your next inhale, we're going to take the arms up and overhead. Big cactus of the arms, arcing through the spine here, taking your gaze up. Just beginning this opening through the chest, this bending and arcing through the back. And on an exhale, you're going to hug yourself, so wrapping those arms around you. Beautiful. Release on your next inhale. Those arms go back up. Cactus them open. Lifting the chest and the heart space up. Maybe taking your gaze up towards the ceiling. Really bending through the back here. Exhale brings us back into that hug. Opposite arms on top. Beautiful. Release. We'll do that again. Inhale those arms up. Cactus them to open up through that body. And this time we'll just exhale them back down to the mat. Walking the hands forward, we're going to come into puppy, so bringing them towards the front of the mat. Maybe bringing the knees hip distance apart, and then allowing the chest to come towards the earth. This is our first real pose here, so you may feel tight in those shoulders. Using the breath. One more round of breath here. Slowly bring that gaze up. We're going to roll into a Sphinx position. So coming onto the forearms, chest lifts. Those elbows are under the shoulders here. Just a little glance to make sure they are stacked. Really puffing that chest up on those inhales. Go ahead and walk your right hand into the middle. Reach around with that left hand to grab that left foot. Really stretch and open these hip flexors and quads. Staying lifted through the upper body. Breathing here, we're not holding or clenching our breath. And one more round here. Slowly, we'll release that foot. Bring ourselves back to our beautiful Sphinx position. Bring that left hand to the midline and take that right hand around to grab that right foot. Nice stretch and back to the breath. Keeping the upper body lifted and lengthened. One more round of breath here. Slowly and gently release, coming back around to our Sphinx. Really pulling that chest through, lifting through the upper body, feeling that arc in the spine here. And we'll release all the way down. Bring the fingers to the outer edges of the mat. We'll lift up for Cobra. Exhale, we release. Inhale lifts us up. Exhale, release. Last one here, inhale, lift. Maybe take the hands off the mat. Maybe not, choice is yours. And wherever you are, we're going to plant the hands under the shoulders. Tuck those toes, send the hips up and back. Slowly coming in, downward facing dog. We're going to go ahead and give the feet a nice little pedal. We're not focused as much on those hamstrings, but we still want to show them some love while we're here today. Go ahead and come onto the tiptoes of those feet. Big bend in the knees here, trying to get the belly to touch the thighs. Really pushing through the fingers and the arms to stretch through the shoulders. With those knees bent, we're going to take the gaze forward and we're going to hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, we'll lift up halfway. Put the weight into the toes here. Exhale, we fold. Beautiful. Take a few pulses here. We'll be here for about 3 rounds of breath. One more round here. Slowly we'll peel up to a standing position, rolling those shoulder blades down the back body, palms face forward, big smile on our face. We're going to inhale those arms up, catch that right wrist, pull it over towards the left, keeping the chest lifted. Inhale brings us back up, catch that left wrist, pull it towards the right. Tucking that tailbone. Inhale back up. Go ahead and take your gaze up towards those hands, twinkling those fingers, maybe taking just a slight back bend, nothing big. And exhale those hands down to heart center. Beautiful job, my friend. Inhale those arms down to come up. Taking that gaze back up. Maybe taking that slight back bend again. Maybe taking it a little further. And exhale, we fold. Lift up halfway. Plant the hands, step the feet back. Plank. Take the gaze forward. Lower down the knees and then the chest and the chin. We're going to pause here for just a second. Really feeling into the low back. Take a round of breath. Next inhale brings us into cobra. Maybe lifting those hands, taking a full round of breath here. Pulling those elbows towards the ribs. Maybe lifting a little higher here. Beautiful. Hands plant. Send the hips back. Child's pose. Forehead kisses the mat here. Roll forward. Tucking the toes. Sending the hips up and back. Once you get here, that inhale is going to take that right leg up. 3-leg dog. Open hips. Roll it forward and step it in between the hands. Lower down that back knee and allow that inhale to rise you up. Arms overhead. Maybe palms touch here. And maybe they come down at your neck. So you got your elbows pointing up towards the sky here. Maybe taking that gaze up. Maybe taking a slight back bend. Beautiful. Arms go back up. Come down to frame the foot. Tuck the back toes and send this right leg back. Down dog. Vinyasa of your choice. Knees, chest, chin. Chaturanga up dog. We'll all meet back. Down dog. No rush. On your next inhale, that left leg sweeps up. Open up those hips. And we're going to roll it forward. Step it in between the hands. Lower down that back knee. And we rise up on an inhale. Palms touch. Maybe bend through those elbows. Bringing those hands to the back of the neck. Lifting the gaze up. Maybe taking a slight back bend. Beautiful. Exhale those arms back up. And bring them down to frame the foot. Tuck back toes. Send the left leg to meet the right. We are going to take a vinyasa of your choice here. Just finding what feels good to you right now. We'll all meet back in a downward facing dog. Next inhale sweeps that right leg up. 3-legged dog. Roll it forward. Step it in between the hands. Next inhale rises us up. High lunge, arms overhead. Same things here. Maybe taking those hands to touch. Bringing them to the small of the neck. Maybe looking up. And maybe taking that slight back bend here. Beautiful. Arms back up. Open up, warrior 2. Gazes towards that right hand. Let's go ahead and exalt this warrior. Maybe bringing this left hand to that right thigh. Breathing. Beautiful. Back into warrior 2. We'll windmill these arms to frame this right foot. Pivot on the left foot. Step the right foot back to meet the left. We'll just take a round of breath here. Next inhale takes that left leg up, 3-leg dog. Roll it forward, step it in between the hands. Inhale brings us up. High lunge, arms up and overhead. Maybe bringing the hands down to the neck. Elbows point up. Maybe take that slight back bend here. only if it feels good for you. And send those arms back up. Open up, warrior two, pivoting on that right foot. Gazes towards that left hand. Exalted warrior, maybe bringing that right hand to that left thigh. Left arm reaches towards the right. And back to our warrior two. Windmill those arms, frame the foot, step it back to meet the right. We're going to take a vinyasa, and this time we're all going to be in child's pose. So go ahead and vinyasa. Once again, no rush here. And child's pose. Beautiful job. We'll take 2 more rounds of breath here. Slowly walking the hands back to the knees. We're going to come in for camel. So we're going to rise up, standing, kneeling position. We're just going to bring the hands to the small of the back. Lift through the chest. Take your gaze forward and slightly up. Engage the glutes and those thighs. And when it feels good, you can drop your head back, pushing those hips forward. Breathing. We're not holding or clenching the breath here. Slowly, we'll bring those hands to heart center. Send the hips back. And slowly walk the hands forward, coming back to our child's pose. Forehead kisses the mat here. We'll just be here for 2 more rounds of breath. Really feeling up that belly, puffing up the back. And slowly, we're going to come forward, tucking those toes, sending the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. On that inhale, that right leg sweeps up. Kind of bend through that knee and take some circles with those hips. We'll go 2 one way, and then we'll reverse that circle and take 2 the other way. Really opening through those legs. Bending through that knee, maybe looking under that left shoulder, seeing that right foot. Coming into wild thing, so allowing your right foot to meet the ground behind you. Pushing up through the hips. Maybe bringing that right hand behind the neck. Really opening up here. Continuing to breathe. Coming around for our side plank. Left side, right arm up. You got this. Right hand plants. Send the hips up and back. Downward dog. Big bend in the knees. Next inhale, left leg sweeps up, 3-leg dog. Bend through the hips. Bend through the knee, open the hips. And let's take those hip circles 2 one way. And we're going to reverse that circle and get 2 the other way. Really opening up through that leg. Looking under that right armpit to see those left feet. Big step back with that left foot to meet the mat or the ground. Hips up. Wild thing. Maybe bring a left hand behind your head. Feeling the freedom in this position. You have options. Coming around for our side plank. Left arm up. And swing it around to the mat. Send the hips up and back. Down dog. We're going to take one more vinyasa here. Roll it forward. Plank. Look forward. Lower down chaturanga. Push up into our upward facing dog. So I'll stay here for just a few rounds of breath. Feeling into that back. Release child's pose. Beautiful job. Let's just take a few rounds of breath here. Next inhale, we'll rise up. We're gonna come into the center of the mat here. We're gonna bring the legs slightly further apart so our booties can come in between our feet. If you don't like this hero pose, you can always stretch the thighs through Sphinx. You could stand up and stretch them. What we're doing is we're stretching this front body line. Because to get into back bends, this is an extremely important line that we have to open up. So we're just going to sit here for a few rounds of breath. If you find that this is way tight and your feet are just digging into the mat, prop yourself up on a block right here. That'll alleviate some of that, but still allow you to get the stretch in the front of the calves and the feet. And as always, I'm going to mention no shooting, stabbing, or sharp pains. Slight discomfort's always welcome, but we don't want you to be injured. Now, if you feel good here and this is not uncomfortable for you and you want to take it a step further, we can go ahead and come down to the forearms. Baby stepping it here. We're in no hurry with the back bends ever. It's just like splits. We have to take our time in order for the body to recognize what's going on and what it's going to allow to happen. This is when we've really got to evaluate what we look like on the inside. What are the thoughts that are coming up right now? How is this making us feel? What does that house look like inside? Is it peaceful and calm right now? And if you want to take it one step further, we're going to come all the way down to the back. Just a few rounds of breath here, maybe taking the arms up and overhead. Nice big rounds of breath. We'll take one more round here in this full position. If you're all the way down, we're going to come back onto those forearms, slowly peeling all the way up. Whoo-sa! We're going to go ahead and bring these legs around. We're going to do the windshield wiper of these legs, and now you see how slow I'm moving. We are not in a rush here. Now just go ahead, windshield wipe these legs, level like 0.5, really flexing through the feet, noticing all that we just did there. It was intense. Back bends are more intense though. Very nicely done, you guys. Here we are, feet are planted, knees are bent. Hips are firmly planted in the floor. Bring the arms forward. We're going to do a slow lower all the way down to the mat. If you would rather rock and roll, be my guest. Otherwise, we're going to challenge our core here. We're just going to slowly lower. Once again, no rush here either. Empowering ourselves to see how far we can take this, because we got this. Maybe coming back up and slow lower again. Maybe pausing. Ooh, and to the back. Beautiful. We're coming in for a bridge here. We'll take a couple of them before we do full wheel if that's within your practice. We're going to feel for those heels, making sure that we can, in fact, feel them. If you cannot feel your heels, you need to scoot your hips on down towards those feet a little more. On your next inhale, we'll lift the hips up, pushing our hands into the mat, engaging the glutes and the thighs. Coming back to the breath. Ever so slowly, we'll release it down. Of course, windshield wiper in those legs. We can take like a level 1 today. Beautiful. We're going to set back up, coming into that bridge again, feeling those heels. And on your next inhale, we'll lift up, tucking those shoulder blades, maybe interlacing the hands underneath us. Gaze is up, glutes are engaged. Maybe lift the hips just a little bit higher. Slowly release the hands and the hips. Windshield wiper those legs. I'm going to offer you full wheel if you want to take bridge again. Be my guest. If you're taking bridge again, this time I would challenge you to lift one of your legs up and release it and then lift the other up. That could be your challenge if you're not taking full wheel. If you're taking full wheel, please use your caution. Don't hurt yourself. We're going to do this slowly, so making sure that you can still feel those heels. That is important. If you have long hair, making sure that your hands are not under that hair. Bringing those hands tucked towards your shoulders. First level, we're going to lift up onto the head. And then if that feels good, you can push on up. Full wheel. Still continuing to breathe. Whew. And slowly we're lowering. We're windshield wipering. Back bends and splits are like the hardest things for me to hold. So thank you for doing this for me, helping me as we help you. If you took full wheel, go ahead and give those wrists a nice little roll. And after we're done windshield wipering, we're going to hug the knees in, taking a rock side to side, massaging through that low back. Beautiful. We're going to take a nice supine twist. So you can bring your arms into a T, or you don't have to. We're going to lower that left leg down, and then this right leg's going to come over. You can bring your left hand to that right knee. Gaze goes towards that right hand. We're going to take quite a few rounds of breath here, so maybe like 7 rounds here. Really breathing into that belly, this nice twist through the spine should be a nice release. I'll take one more full round here. And slowly we'll come back to center. Right leg goes out, left hugs in and pull it over towards the right. Right hand, left knee. Gazes towards that left hand here. Making sure we're filling that belly up with the air. Beautiful. Should feel nice in the hips. One more round of breath here. Slowly peeling back around, coming in for a Shavasana. Tucking those shoulder blades, palms to the side of us, legs long. Let's work on clearing out that mind here, not getting lost in the thoughts. Instead, controlling the dialogue, making the thoughts peaceful, calming, and kind. Remembering that our outer world is a direct reflection of the inner world. Slowly wiggling the fingers and the toes. Bringing the awareness slowly back into the body, maybe taking a big overhead stretch. And before we roll over onto one side, we all find our way to a comfortable seated position. I want to do breath of fire with us. So if you want to come into like a wide-legged, like we're about to do wide-legged child's pose, but we're not going to fold forward. Things like this can really bring up a lot of emotions inside of us. So we're going to take lion's breath here to let go of some of the emotions that may have been stirred up. If I can do this, y'all can do this. So whenever we do this, we take a nice big inhale, really accepting all of the things that we want, the peace, the love, the happiness, the kindness. And on our exhales, we bring our gaze into our third eye and our tongue reaches down towards our chin. Okay, we got this. We'll just do this 3 times. Inhale fully and let it go. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's sit here with it for a second. Hands to heart center. My gratitude today is for you. I appreciate you so much more than my words can express. Thank you for showing up for yourself. Thank you for putting in the work. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. Like I said, I appreciate you so very much. Please do comment below. Share me with a friend, to someone that you think may need this experience. And as always, I look forward to seeing you back on the mat. Have a wonderful rest of your day.